Why are we here today? We are here today because of a critical problem in Africa, which the world seems to be oblivious about, is the issue of land acquisition in Africa, or what some people call land grab. If this problem is not addressed appropriately, we are worried about what is going to happen to our continent. This is why we sought to have some way of informing not only Africans, but also friends of Africa around the world, that this problem needs to be looked at carefully. And how do we begin to inform the entire world about something that many people know about but are not focusing on? It's through communication, through art. Art is a common language. It's not political. It is just people playing music. And we reached out to our best artists in Africa who are well known, people like Femi Kuti. His father has been known around the world, and he also is carrying what his father taught him to do. That is to look after those who are underprivileged in Africa. And he agreed to come here tonight and perform. So did people like Anisha Solomon, young artists, Didier Awadi. They're all here tonight just to help us send this message across. And we will show you vividly what is happening in Africa so that you will understand why this is important. after this concert tonight, tomorrow we'll have a discussion on land grab. And we'll learn from what other people have done. Europeans, what they did, what the America did, to have this land right, property right, very well enforced in their nations, nationally, internationally. Hopefully tomorrow we'll start really the real work of working with our leaders, our ambassadors, our head of state.
Yeah. In this time of confusion, we need a revolution. Revolution for the land, continue Massa. Because this land is ours. We don't want this big corporation to come and steal our land. But we needed to come here in Washington, D.C. to tell all this corporation, Africa is ours. And we'll be the first one to fight for our independence, for our land. And this is the message that I came from Senegal to bring to you. This is our continent.
Come on, baby.
I want everybody to sing. Cheer it up. Are you ready to sing with us? Little darling, cheer it up. Are you ready to sing with us? Come on, it's your turn.
Cheer it up.
Can't only get choose.
Little darling, cheer it up.
So bien. Can I have it louder? A bit more. Good.
Little darling, cheer it up. Come on,
That's the way you sing. Thank you, Mama. Okay, let's go back to the revolution. Hey.
Ma révolution, dédicace à tous les combattants, les frères sur le continent qui luttent. Ma révolution, dédicace à tous les combattants et sœurs sur le continent qui luttent. Ma révolution, dédicace à tous les combattants et frères sur le militants qui luttent. Ma révolution.
Baba Femi Kuti. Baba Femi Kuti. Where's Baba Femi Kuti? You do it for your father, for your own father. Fela. Thank you so much. He'll be back.
Planning an event? Need a photographer or maybe a DJ? For all your multimedia services, look no further than VPS Media Center. VPS Media Center, with an array of services, will cater to all your needs. Videography, photography, DJ services, recording studio time, internet radio and TV, web and graphic design, talent development, and weddings. Call VPS Media Center at 301-477-2460. Turn your fun event into a spectacular one. VPS Media Center, 301-477-2460.
Don't forget to check out the VPS Media Center for all your entertainment needs.
Siamo Gesù Cristo, siamo Gesù ami, siamo Baba, siamo Gesù. Yesu Kristu, siyabonga Baba, siyabonga Yesu wami, siyabonga. Two, three, 1, 2, 3, and ABC. All the family.
So tonight we are honored to have among us a very special, good-hearted person, our Queen Mother of Harlem, Dr. Deloise Blakely.
We always say before we speak to our elders, our African elders and other elders, do we have permission to speak? So I asked, do I have permission to speak? Thank you. I am here because the young people understands the culture. And in the culture, you always welcome the elders to be a part of what you do with permission. But there's a burning issue greater than all of that. And that is, as a daughter, as a descendant of the Middle Passage of the transatlantic ocean of the slave trade, the greatest crime ever been committed against a people has been the slave trade of my ancestors, my descendants, which we was robbed of everything. And when I say that, I'm talking about the displaced Africans, indigenous Africans. And being the Queen Mother representing 55 million displaced indigenous Africans right here in the United States of America. I'm a Queen Mother who agitates around the world. I have traveled extensively throughout the continent of Mother Africa to find me, just to find me, who has been robbed, exploited, raped, pillared, and the greatest Holocaust that I experience every day of my life. And to be made whole again. And what brought me to Washington for the White House Summit on Africa, to say to the world, to the millionaires and the billionaires, Africa is not for sale. You cannot sell Africa. No one has the right to do so. No one has that right. Africa It's been given to the continent for a reason and a season unknown to us. And as I travel from Egypt to the Nile of Uganda, to the shores of Zanzibar, to the slave house of not only Ghana, the Cape Coast, but also the slave house of Gorée. As I have traveled east, west, north, and south, and in the consciousness that I carry as the Queen Mother for the 55 million displaced African, I had to speak truth to power here in Washington, D.C., and saying to those that was invited, Africa is not for sale. And I called on the politicians and I called on the African nationals that are living abroad, which many of you in this room would say that you're African nationals. And as I said to Washington, D.C. more than once, you have a right to be going between the shores of Washington, D.C., which I went to the monument of Martin Luther King before I arrived here today, and stood before the shores, there's water there, and asked the ancestors to allow me to come and bring a message to the African nationals. You have a right to go between the United States of America and claim it because we are your ancestors, and bridging that relationship, and reclaiming and holding the continent down. Not a country in Africa. Africa is a continent, and it's one of the most beautiful places in the world I ever gone in my life. And in Africa, you must hold on to it. You must come together, mobilize and organize like everyone else is doing, and let everyone know your intention for sustainable development for Mother Africa. As I stated to Congress, many of you are ambassadors of goodwill. Many of you are well trained in the United States of America. You can run a nation. You can run a continent with the training. If you go to NASA, you'll find the African nationals in NASA. If you go, as I was saying, to the astronaut Mae Jemison, the African-American astronaut, when she had the Science and Technology Forum, whatever we're looking for, the Africans that have studied in the United States and been here for many years living outside of the continent, there have to be a mobilization. This is not the first time we've heard about diseases. I call it disease. And there's a healing for all things. So we cannot become frightened by the word Ebola. Where did it come from? What does it really mean? But there should be not fear within us to be able to tackle whatever problem behooves us. I don't see anyone in my travel, and I will be going to Africa very shortly, and I met with many of the scientists around it, the issues of dis-ease. Dis-ease haven't kept anyone from going to the continent for the resources that is in the belly of Mother Africa. And keep that in mind as a part of your consciousness and a part of your psyche. A part of your psyche. Africa belongs to you and you alone. I don't know why the Creator, the beginner of all life, placed all of the natural resources in the belly of Mother Africa to the point that everyone is scrounging for it. So the conversation that we are having is a very important conversation. And those that have joined us for this conversation, let's take it beyond here. Let's take it to the streets. Let's take it to Capitol Hill. Let us begin to lobby the halls of Congress and the Senate and on into Washington, D.C., to the member states around the world, and letting the world know that Africa is not for sale. And I leave with all of you the blessings and the intent of the spirit of my ancestors. The Creator remain with you, and whatever name you may call that force greater than yourselves, I would say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I thank you.
You guys are so beautiful. Look at you. Look at that. I want to hear shouting. Where's South Africa? Make some noise. Do you know who's standing here on stage? These are our twin mothers, right? You are so beautiful, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I wonder if I can sing like you. Let me see. You guys sang, what was that? The first one that you sang?
I need a chorus.
Okay, so help me out here.
All right.
So it was, what did you say again?
Go closer to the mic.
So, all right, let's go. Now, don't laugh at me now, you guys. So they went, hallelujah.
You got it.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I want you all to sing, please.
Hallelujah. 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 For the Lord God omnipotent reigneth. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys.
But
Africans are known for their cultural heritage. Everywhere in the world where they are found, what distinguishes them is their heritage. In most African countries, as much as 50 cultural groups are celebrated. Nigeria alone has more of this number in one ethnic group. Captains of industries, academicians forget who, what they are, and celebrate in colors. For Africans, no matter what they are, who they are, when the time comes for the respective community's festivities, home is the place.
South Africa. What defines us? What inspires us? Vibrant cities. Taste the salted air of our sweeping beaches. Witness our vast horizons and limitless possibilities. And
everybody. We're Simply Chrysolites, all the way from South Africa. We come from a ministry which is Tim Amatosha Global Outreach. So we came all the way to DC for the land grab concert because we felt that it's for a good cause. Our mentor, Reverend Tim Amatosha, would always tell us to aspire to inspire before we expire. So we felt this is a platform for us to get to inspire other people to stand up for Africa, to unite against land grab, and to make a difference, because that's what we live for. God bless you.
Well, I'm here with Didier Wadi, rapper extraordinaire from Africa. I have started to listen to your music ever since I found out you were coming here, and now I'm the biggest fan. I really am. So the question, though, is what made you, because you are doing this pro bono, you are doing it because you believe that we need to address this African land grab issue, which I guess is part of the answer, but was it really moved you enough to come all the way over here from across the seas?
What made me decide to come is that I saw a sister here in DC, in the middle of the beast, ready to fight for us out there. I say, no, I need to be there and support, because she's fighting for us. This land problem is a serious problem in Senegal, the way I live, but in many different parts of Africa, it's a serious problem. And people are taking the land because they want to do agriculture project or take the mines, But the population never have no benefit from this cooperation coming from outside. And nobody will fight for us. We need to be the first one on the front line. And that's why I say I need to be there and support this cause, because she's fighting for us. This NGO is fighting for us. And we will not wait for others to come and help us. It must be an African problem, and we must come with African solutions. So all the Africans together, wherever we can go, we need to be there and fight for this serious problem.
That's wonderful. But then that is the issue, is that we have to start working together, Africa united, to handle all of Africa's problems. Thank you for taking a moment.